Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about do this if she ignores you, okay? So it sucks when you get ignored, when you get ghosted. So what's the best way to respond when this kind of thing happens? So the first thing that you should do, right, is wait for her to respond, right? It may be the case that she never does respond, but you don't want to send her any more messages, okay? It's not a good idea to send like a message and then send her another message because she hasn't responded, right? She's got the message, she's received it, she knows that it's there. You don't need to message her again, right? If you need to remind a woman that you've messaged her, then she's not interested in you, okay? She's not interested in you enough. Because that's what I feel like some people essentially do when they reach out to someone. It doesn't matter if it's a woman or a man. They send a message to the person that they like. They don't get a response and they think, oh, maybe they forgot, maybe they saw the message but they forgot to respond. So I'm going to send them another message to remind them that I exist, right? That shows to me if you need to remind someone that you exist, they don't like you enough. And that's just the facts. So you don't need to send another message, right? If you've sent a message and you've been left on read and you've been ghosted, then you've just got to wait. You just got to wait it out and see if she or he responds, okay? That's just what you got to do. And it may be the case that they never respond, right? In that case, then you know to move on and to not engage with this person anymore, okay? Because the point is if she likes you, she'll get back to you eventually, right? And maybe because you've only known each other for like a small amount, perhaps you've only been messaging for a little while, perhaps you've only been on one date, or perhaps you've been on no dates yet, and it's taken her a while to respond. It may be the case that she is actually just, she just doesn't know you well enough yet. You're not really on her priority list yet because she doesn't know you enough yet. So that could be the reason why she's taken a while to respond, right? So you got to remember that, people fall in love at different rates. Right, so she might be not as interested in you at the moment as you are in her, but that doesn't mean that her interest can't rise, okay? She may actually, when she reaches out to you, if she reaches out to you, you can arrange a date with her, and then maybe after that date, her interest will rise a little bit more, maybe she'll reach out to you more, maybe she'll start responding to your messages a little bit more, okay? So you got to be a bit patient with that, because sometimes there are women out there that, because they don't know you well enough yet, they don't have you as a priority, and so they feel like it's okay to not message you for like a few days. Okay, so you got to keep that in mind. Okay, so all you got to do really is wait and see if she gets back to you, and if she doesn't, then you know that you got to move on. But also give her a little bit of time to respond, because she may just, if you don't know her very well yet, that might be the reason why. You see. So if she likes you though, if she's interested, she will get back to you eventually, even if it's a few days. If she likes you, she will get back to you. If she thinks that you're cute, if she's interested, if she wants to date you, if she's thinking about you, she will reach out to you eventually. If not, then you know to move away and to move on from that woman, okay? Not move away physically, but you know what I mean, move away from that situation. So what you got to do then is if she doesn't reply to your message at all, right, then you've got to walk away and apply the no contact rule, okay? So that means, no liking her stuff on social media, no watching her stories, no commenting, anything, right? No texting especially, no calling her up, nothing, right? So when she looks at her phone, it's just, when it comes to you, it's just a blank screen. She gets no notification from you whatsoever. When she clicks on her stories and she scrolls down to see who's looked at her stories, she can't see anyone because she can't see your name specifically, right? She can't see your face. So you should go ghost, okay? And maybe that will get her wondering about you again, and maybe she'll reach out to you eventually. But who knows, right? If it takes her a long time to respond, it's probably because she's not interested. Now, a thing to consider as well, and this happens a lot, okay? This happens way more often than I feel like it should, right? And that is when you're dating someone and suddenly they go ghost, even if things seem like they were going really super well, sometimes the reason why this happens is because they are still hung up on their ex, and for some reason their ex comes back into the picture, or perhaps a crush of theirs who they've been crushing on for a long time starts talking to them again. And then they go back to that person, they go back to that old flame. because they've got more emotional investment in them, okay? And when someone starts talking to you, right, only just starts talking to you, maybe you've only been on like one date, and it may seem like things are going really well, but because you've only spent a limited amount of time with them, that means that their emotional bank account for you is really small because they haven't spent enough time with you. Yet if they've had a crush on someone for 2 years, then that emotional bank account is super high because they've had that crush for a long time, right? They've almost been conditioned to be in love with that person and to have a strong connection to them. So if an old crush or an ex comes back, they're going to go back to the ex. They're going to start being more invested in the ex because they've got more of an investment in them, because they've known them longer, because they've had feelings for them for longer. They've got more of that emotional connection to them. Whereas with you, if they've only been on a couple of dates with you, even if the dates went super well and you thought everything was fine, because they've only spent that limited amount of time thinking about you, like that limited amount of time actually being in your physical presence as well, they're not going to have as much of a stronger connection to you. So that's why they hop back to the ex. And that's one of the biggest reasons, actually, why a woman may be interested in you to begin with, and then suddenly they just disappear and you have absolutely no idea why they disappeared, basically, because you thought everything was going fine. But the point is that they just were not emotionally ready yet to really be in something new with someone else, because they're still hung up on someone else, you see. Okay, so that's sometimes why that can happen, and it happens a lot more often than not. So just to warn you, if you're dating, that kind of thing can happen, and unfortunately it does happen kind of often. Okay, but if you keep on dating, you will actually find someone who is actually ready for a relationship. So don't let that dishearten you. You may encounter a woman who's going through that, but you may also encounter many women who actually are single and available, who don't have any other emotional connection to anyone else at the moment. Okay, so it's important to know that distinction as well. Okay, so it's also important as well to move on. You got to make sure that you do that. You don't want to be spending months and years wasting away just thinking about this person who ignored you, who ghosted you. So move on with your life. Try and get past it. One of the ways that you can do that is by watching the kind of content you consume. Just being very careful about that. So if you're trying to get someone to stop ignoring you, you might be watching a lot of like videos about ghosting and how to reverse ghosting and things like that. So try not to indulge in that kind of content. Try to indulge in content that is more forward thinking. So that's videos, articles, books. That is more about your future. So you might be reading things on or watching content on dating, as opposed to trying to get this person to be more attracted to you. Okay, so just be aware of that. Because if you're watching a lot of content about ghosting and how to get someone to stop ignoring you or whatever, it's going to keep you stuck. Okay, because you keep on watching it and you kind of become what you consume. So if you consume a lot of dating content, you're going to be amazing at dating, right? You're going to be really good at that. If you watch a lot of videos on, trying to reverse ghosting, then that's always going to be in your head and you're always going to be thinking about that kind of stuff, right? And that kind of keeps you stuck. Also, other things keep you stuck, like, you check up on their social media and things like that. You're watching what they're doing. You kind of give them a little bit of a social media stalk. Maybe you're asking mutual friends about them, see what they're up to. Avoid doing that kind of thing, because again, that kind of thing keeps you stuck and it keeps them rolling around in your head, and you don't want that. You want them out of your head, right? You don't want them to be living in there rent-free. Okay, so try and move on with your life. Look at content and consume content that is more forward thinking. Okay, so another way that you can do this as well, just start focusing on creating a better life for yourself, right? Focus on what you want to achieve in your life, right? Start focusing on you. Take the focus off of them, because you can't really control what they do. You can't control if they're going to message you back or not, but you can control what you do and what you do with your life, right? So try and make your life the best thing that you can possibly make for yourself, right? Because what's the point? What's the point of not doing that, right? Because the time is going to pass anyway, so you might as well try and achieve all that you want in this life, because like I said, the time is going to pass anyway, so you might as well try and create something amazing for yourself. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.